Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some summer book recommendations that I compiled, that I've read and I've loved, and it gives you that like summer vibe if you're looking for a light read, nothing too serious or serious but still has the vibes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I have a few books that I absolutely love and I think you should read during the summer. So yeah, let's just get started. First up is a book I recently read, and that is Malibu Rising. And yes, I know it's talked about a lot, I think, but it is talked about for a good reason. It's such a good summer read, but with more depth to it. It's not just your daily rom-com. I really adore this. It's literary fiction. It's written by Jenkins, and you know how much I love TJR. This book just gives you that feeling of that Malibu summer. There's a lot of beach in here, but also the story is just so intriguing. I finished it in one night. It just talks about family dynamics, relationships, and trauma. Yeah, I know the keywords that I just described aren't really summery, but I swear it still gives you that same feeling. Like there's surfing in here and everything. A great book. And then a romance that I also recently finished, and that is The Infinity Between Us. This is a book that you should read if you love friends to lovers. It's set in a summer house, a beach house. It has like that summery feeling. The main character goes to the beach a lot, and kind of like second chance but also friends to lovers. It is dual timeline. You go back to the past and present, but it's still good. I recommend. You know, it's nothing new, so if you feel like you've read a lot of this type of books, it gives me like Love in Other Words vibes. It also gives me Every Summer After vibes, which I am recommending as well. I might recommend these two at the same time actually, because like the premise is really similar. There's a plot twist in the end that was quite predictable in this one, which I didn't really mind. I'm not there to be shocked. I'm there for the romance and the vibes, you know? This is a good light read, rom-com read. And then this one has a similar plot line and premise. It's also, well, this time it's set in a lake house, I think. Lake or beach house. This is also friends to lovers, I think. Wait, I read this a while ago. I think it is. It's like childhood friends to lovers. Yeah. So both of these are like second chance childhood best friends romances. And in this one, however, the ending, I mean, I still suggest you to read this during the summer, because I did read this last summer by the beach and it was a great experience. I didn't annotate, I tabbed it as well, but you know, the ending isn't that wow. But then again, if you're here for the vibes and you're here for the romance, you're here for the chemistry, this has it, and I still recommend. I rated this a 4-star, so it's still a great read for me. And then I'm on to my Emily Henry books that I absolutely adore. She's known for like her summer reads, summer books, and I recommend reading it during the summer as well. These are the Emily Henry books that I will be talking about, and this Happy Place as well. I've talked about this in my previous book video. Emily Henry is great to read during the summer because it is set in the summer and it has that rom-com feeling. It has that chemistry, has that romance, that plot that you're looking for in summer. And I love her writing as well, just because it doesn't really bore you. It really grasps you in. Like the chemistry is unmatched. My favorite, I think, is You and Me on Vacation and Book Lovers. People have different opinions on like their favorites of Emily Henry, but I really think you should know that all of them are still worth it to read during the summer. You and Me on Vacation I read earlier on, but it's best friends to lovers, childhood best friends to lovers, slow burn. It is set during summer. They go on vacations a lot, obviously. You and Me on Vacation. But yeah, I gave this a 5 stars. I love the chemistry between Alex and Poppy. It gave me good vibes. There was a lot of lines where I was like, hey, that's a great interaction right there. But yeah, I feel like if you are a friends to lovers type of gal, this would be great for you. But if you're not, and you're more into like enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, this would be a perfect summer book for you. It's beach read. I do like it in a similar way as I like You and Me on Vacation. It's just back then I was like mega friends to lovers. I was a major friends to lovers girl, so this dynamic didn't really match this, but I still love it. Like, I read through it in one sitting and I tabbed it as well, and I feel like they have a lot of chemistry, same way that Alex and Poppy does. This is January and Gus, and they have more depth, I think. Here the characters have more depth in Beach Read than they do in You and Me on Vacation, and that's what I like about it. And again, chemistry is unmatched. The lines were perfect. It's set in a beach house as well. So basically, January and Gus are writers, but they're rival writers. They don't really get along, and they're like neighbors in their beach house, but then they help each other, blah blah blah, you know how it goes. But yeah, I rated this a 5-star. You and Me on Vacation also a 5-star, so I highly recommend. And then the more recent Emily Henry books I read is Book Lovers. I read this by the beach in Bali last year in 2022, and it was such a vibe. I was like in my bathtub, in my hotel bathtub, like reading this at night and then bringing it with me, watching the sunrise in the morning by the beach. Like, hello, that's perfect. So I might be biased with how I view this book because it was just a whole experience for me, but either way, I still recommend. This time it's about, again, this is rivals to lovers, but they're like editors in the publishing industry, in the book industry. Their chemistry is great. I enjoyed reading it a lot. Like, I went through it, I read through it really quickly, and I love Nora. Like, she's a refreshing character personality compared to like the other character personalities we usually get in rom-coms and romance books in general. And I love how I can relate to a lot of what she says and a lot of what she experienced, and I feel like I was so seen. That's why I like it. But I also like the chemistry, obviously Emily Henry chemistries, and the banter. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. The banters in Emily Henry books are unmatched. But yeah, I highly recommend. This was a 5-star as well. And then this one was the latest one I read, and I read it during Bali as well this year. So a year later, after reading Book Lovers, I read it by the beach in Bali as well, this one. It was quite a good book. It's just, it didn't really live up to the rest of Emily Henry books. So I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I talked about it in my last video, but I still recommend. Like, it's not something I wouldn't recommend to people. It's just, it didn't live up to the rest of the Emily Henry books I read. But if you love the rest and you finished reading all of the Emily Henry books that I mentioned before, then you should definitely still give this a try, because it might just because of my personal experience reading it, like the circumstances that made me not like it as much as the rest, but it still has the premise that everyone wants in summer, set in the summer house with a friend group. Like, hello, like friend group summer house. It's second chance romance. That's like the formula of a summer book. I have The Unhoneymooners, which is a popular book, and it was popular back then, but I'm still gonna mention it now because maybe some of you still haven't read it for some reason. And I absolutely would recommend this for the summer. It had the perfect elements. It's set in Hawaii. It is fake dating, enemies to lovers, fake marriage. Like, hello, that's so perfect. And it's by the beach, obviously Hawaii. They basically have to go on this trip and pretend to be a married couple because Olive's sister and her husband, who just got married, got sick, like got food poisoning, so they couldn't go, so they have to fill in for them, so they have to pretend to be them. And that was perfect, actually. Like, it's a perfect book. It has a great aesthetic. Like, when you read it, you know, like you're invited into this trip in Hawaii. Their chemistry is great, banter is great, their progress, how they became from like enemies to like lovers, is great. It wasn't rushed, and I love it. I still remember like moments reading this book where I was just squealing. I was just like, hey, oh my god. Anyways, recommend. Tabbed it. Then during the similar period of time where I read that, I read the two Bellinger sister duology. The first book is It Happened One Summer, and the second is Hook, Line and Sinker. I rated both of these 5 stars, but I think enjoy reading this more than this. This is just a little slow, but it has great tropes. The first book is Grumpy X Sunshine. It's set in a small town, port city, so you know, summer vibes. Honestly, some people might find Piper annoying, but I personally love her since the beginning. Like, that might not be what I was supposed to do, but I still love her. I was rooting for her. But even if you don't like her in the beginning, her character development is worth reading for, and her romance and her story with, what's his name, with Brendan is also great. Like, their personalities match so much, you know? Like, she's that like sunshine kind of fashionista rich girl, and he's that like small town fisherman but like grumpy and everything. Like, but he had a soft spot for her. Like, okay, anyways, I just remembered reading this and like smiling, unable to hold my laughter. Like, it was just good vibes all around, good summer vibes specifically. And as you can see, I tabbed them a lot. I tabbed a lot from this book. I don't know what I was tabbing. Like, I feel like that was a little too excessive of me. And then the second book is, the trope is a little different. It's Friends to Lovers. It's about Hannah and Fox. And Fox is basically like Brendan's best friend, and Hannah is Piper's little sister. Or was it older? I think little. Hannah is really different from Piper, so that was like a little switch up. Like, she had her own personality, which I love. If you love music, this is like great for like music lovers as well, because they talk about music, they bond over music, Hannah and Fox. Fox is like, he's not grumpy, but he's like kind of like cheeky, like he teases you and stuff, and he's like that kind of cool, I don't know how to explain, but he's different from Brendan. So if you don't really like Grumpy Sunshine, you like Friends to Lovers, this is a great book. And it still gave me that summer vibes. Obviously, it's set in the same setting as the first book, and it's like by the port, by the sea. Great vibe. This one isn't really specific to summer, but I did read it during summer, and it was great. Like, you know how all of these are like set in like the beach or whatever? This isn't really set by the beach, but it still has that same feeling. It was really light, fun, quick romance, but this is like YA this time. So if you're looking for more like lower stakes, like literally just good vibes all around, this is a great book. Especially, I think I talked about this in quite detail in my last video, but I read it during summer after I finished high school. So it was perfect. It was the perfect time reading this. But even if you're not at this point in your life, it's still a great, easy summer read, you know? So I still recommend Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. And it's about like high school rivals to friends to lovers. And it was just so fun. Like, I was having a great time reading it, and I enjoyed it immensely. The last one I'm going to talk about is The Cheat Sheet, which is Friends to Lovers again. I see a little trend here. There's a lot of Friends to Lovers, but this one's great. Like, it's fake dating as well, fake dating, Friends to Lovers, and it's so simple yet so great. It's short, and it's like, and their chemistry is great, their banter is great, the story is so fun. Like, there's no major conflict, you know? Like, that's such a summer book to me. Like, it's so easy and fast and fun, and yeah, people might think it's childish, but whatever, it's cute anyways. The Cheat Sheet is about a football player and a ballet dancer, but she's like ballet teacher. Yeah. So basically they were like friends in college, and then they continue to be friends, and then they fake date because of something, and then they fell in love, obviously, and I love it. I love it so much. One of my favorites. I rated it a 5-star. But yeah, that's all of the books that I highly recommend to read during the summer. I have a few more books that I haven't read, and it's in my TBR that are summer vibes, and I hope I can read it before summer ends. It's already the end of July, tomorrow's August, so I'm kind of late, but you know what, whatever. August is still kind of like summer transitioning to fall, you know? So yeah, I'm excited to read more summer books, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you found a few books that you want to add to your list and you want to read during the summer. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye!